Hey guys, hello and welcome to Bilalism. Today I wanted to talk about a very important character in the story of what we call Pakistan cricket. And it is no one else but, the Sultan himself, Mr. Wasim Akram. As we all know, Wasim Akram played a pretty crucial role in the Pakistan team in the 90s and in the 80s as well. He There were lots of important games where he was part of. However, his career in the 90s, while he achieved a lot of good things for the team in some games, and his record itself speaks for itself. There were lots of blemishes on his career, and Wasim Akram overall will always be remembered as someone that, although was incredibly talented, but his character, his personality, his career is always going to be tainted by things that were initially they were allegations, then there were witnesses that spoke their mind about what he had actually done in terms of throwing games and match fixing. Um, and there are actually a lot of interesting facts that come to mind when you go through the Justice Qayyum report that came out in 1998. There were lots of witnesses that were part of it. Um, Too many to name, but there were major allegations against Wasim Akram, and you know, some of them ranged from him throwing games to, in some situations, he asked other people to throw games. So, in one instance, he had asked Ataur Rahman to essentially now bowl well in a game against New Zealand in Christchurch. And PCB had this policy that when you are in the dressing room, you should not use any cell phones. And I think this is time period of 1994, 1995. I'm not quite sure. But Wasim Akram was seen using his cell phone freely in the dressing room, even though Intikhab Alam, who I think was the manager at the time, had clearly, communicated the rules where players were not allowed to use cell phones, but cell phone was being used. On South Africa tour, and we know South Africa was quite corrupt in those days, based on how we understand history and what we have seen as facts came out about Hansi Cronje and all that. So there were murmurs that there was a lot of fixing going on in the South Africa tour in the early 90s, and the other shady character that was around Wasim Akram at the time was Salim Malik. Salim Malik, as we know, he got banned for life. The less we talk about that character, the better. Now he walks around like, oh my God, what happened to me? They shouldn't have banned me. I am so innocent. Yet, whenever anyone asks him a very straightforward question about why he's innocent, he has no answer except saying, this court basically proved that I was not a match fixer. That court did this. No, talk facts. And that's where I find Wasim Akram's behavior very, very, very flaky, right? Recently, I saw a video on Cricinfo where he said that the world says so many good things about Wasim Akram, but you go and you talk to people in my own country or you post anything on social media, the first comment is match fixer. So, Mr. Wasim Akram, let me make one thing very, very clear to you. You are wrong when you compare a Pakistani fan to a fan that lives in another country. Maybe you don't know the difference, but I'll tell you. The difference between a Pakistani fan and a non Pakistani fan is that you have broken hearts of Pakistani fans. The other fans you speak of, they don't give two you know what about what you have done because they were happy when you threw the games. They were happy when their teams beat the Pakistani team because of you. So, in case that's not clear or that was not clear, and now it is, Please don't compare the fans. The Pakistani fans are the reason why you sit where you sit. Pakistani fans are the reason why you have any money in your bank account. Pakistani fans are the reason why you have a name. Pakistani fans are the reason why you got to play cricket. Pakistani fans are the reason why you should thank them every single day till you die. Because even after all those allegations, where you in court, in this report that I speak of, in these paragraphs right here, it says right here that even though we are not able to confidently say if Mr. Wasim Akram fixed the games or not, especially because Atta Rahman retracted his statement, which confused the court and they just couldn't go after you. But the court clearly says that it is recommended that Wasim Akram be removed from captaincy of the national team. The captain of the national team should have a spotless character and above suspicion. Wasim Akram seems to be too solid to hold that office. These are facts. This is an official statement. You may or may not like it, but you're going to have to live with this for the rest of your life. And now somebody please explain to me, how is Wasim Akram sitting on all these expert panels on these major channels? I see him sitting at the eSports HD telecast that Fakhr Alam hosts. What is Wasim Akram doing there? Why is he an expert on this entire subject? Who made him the expert? Why is a tainted character sitting there? How is he a role model for anybody? He keeps repeating, "Oh, there's no proof. There's no proof." Are you kidding me? He was removed and not allowed to be captain of the Pakistani team ever again. Yet somehow in 2018 he was appointed in the cricket committee, and this cricket committee that I speak of had a lot of power. Right? I think at the time it was Hassan Mani that was the chairman, and he said there's no matter that this committee cannot look into in Pakistan cricket. What is going on with this? Who makes these decisions? Do we not have any respect for the sport? Do we not have any respect for the team? Do we have no legacy? Or is our legacy, when it comes to cricket, so shameful and so embarrassing that we don't even know how to stop these people, and we just say, you know what? Let's just continue. No point, because if he go after Wasim Akram, then he is going to go after us. If that is how bad things are, then I tell you, there really is no point for a fan to even watch cricket anymore. Fast forward from 90s, the embarrassing 90s, to now. You know, whenever Babar Azam takes his field to the team, and if the team loses, a character like Wasim Akram, the tainted character like Wasim Akram, criticizes the performances, he criticizes the captaincy, he criticizes the management. He criticizes a captain that puts his every single ounce of energy into every single game he plays. I mean, I understand teams can lose. I am also not happy with, Pakistan recently losing to India and India. I understand that. But, there's one thing that I'm not worried about, and that is that I know that when these guys got onto the field and they played their hearts out. They tried their best. That is not how I felt about you, Wasim Akram. That is not what I felt in the 90s. So now Wasim Akram goes on TV and says, in our days, we used to play like this. In our days, we would just practice and practice and practice and practice. And then what, Wasim Akram? What did you do after that? Except for 1992, when Imran Khan was captain, and you produced those 2 deliveries. What did you do that majorly helped Pakistan cricket? Let's talk about 1996. You allegedly faked an injury. Even if you didn't fake an injury, you did nothing memorable in that entire tournament. And you were supposed to be captain. Some World Cup legacy of 1996. Fast forward to 1999. You took a team to the World Cup that lost its coach. You had drama going on with Javed Mirdad, one guy that you could never ever get yourself to respect, even though he was the one that introduced you to that level of cricket. 1992, you became captain somehow. If you had any, even 1 ounce of respect for the sport, you would have said, there's no way that I can be captain if Javed Mirdad is still playing. But no, why would Wasim Akram say that, right? And he would easily blame that on, oh, I was young and I was stupid. Sure, sure. This young, stupid guy was able to get addicted to cocaine. He was he knew how to smoke marijuana on the beaches of the Caribbean and get arrested. He did all of that and allegedly fixed games, but he didn't understand that he had to respect Javed Mirdad. Sure, sure. Fast forward to 1999, loses the coach. The team obviously had a lot of talent. They played well, but even in that tournament, the Pakistani team lost to Bangladesh. Even in that tournament, when the Pakistani team was supposed to be perfect or had spoiled for choices, right? Waqar Younis could not even make it to the team because all the players were so good. Even then, that team also lost to India. You somehow make it to the final in the end, right? Because if you remember, before the semifinal, there was this streak of really bad performances. They come back, they make it to the final, and in the final, something very strange happens. Whether or not that was a fixed game, we're never going to know. It's hard to say, right? Because Australia, after all, is a good team or was a good team. So it's hard to say. But that's your legacy, Mr. Wasim Akram. That is your legacy of never winning anything major, ever. You're probably thinking about Carlton and United series in 1996. Sure, that was one achievement when West Indies underperformed and Australia underperformed. And yeah, Razak did really well. And I take that back. That was not when Razak did well. Razak did well in 1999, right after the World Cup. But that was one tournament where you did well in your entire captaincy era. In test matches, you lost to Australia. You lost to South Africa and Pakistan. If I remember correctly, there was even a Zimbabwe test series we lost. Can't remember who was captain exactly at the time, but those were some embarrassing times. So now you sit on TV and you talk about the 90s like it was some golden era of Pakistan cricket. No, it was not. I take Babar Azam over you any day. I take honest player with limited captaincy aptitude than you any day. Because I, as a fan, can trust Babar. I, as a fan, can trust Rizwan. I, as a fan, could even trust Sarfaraz. I, as a fan, could trust Hafiz. I, as a fan, could trust Azhar Ali. I, as a fan, could not trust you. I could not trust Waqar Younis. I could not trust Inzamam while you guys were around him. I could not trust you. And now somehow you sit on all these panels like you have some sort of authority on the matter, or your opinion counts. It does not. It never will. And I really hope that all Pakistani fans and Pakistani media wakes up to this. Don't put a tainted character on your shows. And if you do, don't give him the respect he doesn't deserve. Wasim Akram allegedly sold Pakistan's name and made money illegally. And that is the bitter truth he's going to have to live with. And our treatment should show it. Thank you.